in May 10, 2026, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, in a public gathering, has addressed in Hyderabad. He have mentioned that for a specific number of period, please people don't buy gold. And since it very surprising to hear this from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and is there any other advisory issues which has been discussed by the Narendra Modi? Let's decode it one by one. Why? Because why did he done such an gathering in the first place? Because those advisory issues which was being mentioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his gathering is to protect the foreign reserve amid Iran Israel war and rise in the crude price and falling of rupees. So, uh, you may ask that what is the reason behind his sayings? First of all, let's come into address the gold import. First, he has mentioned this to discourage people of India to buy gold because India is the second largest importer of gold other to crude oil. So it is a second item in which we use more number of USD or forex reserve in nature. So India have achieved an all-time high of $72 billion in FY 2025 to 2026 in the import of gold. So it is the second after the crude. And India's forex has been tanked from 728 billion USD in February to 690 billion in May 2026, which is the stank amount is $38 billion in nature. So he thinks that if we started spending less in these amounts which these items in which it has been mentioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we can improve our forex reserves, and we can have an opportunity to make rupees rise again. Because if we started using US dollar, we the rupees started to weaken in nature. As I mentioned, more than 95%, 90 to 95% of gold has been imported from countries such as Switzerland, Africa, and South Africa and UAE. So, in put it in simple words, gold is denominated in US dollar. To be with an example, if you buy 1 lakh rupee chain and you buy it from a jeweler shopper, so the jeweler shopper buy it from a importer. Those importer has been uh, brought by foreign suppliers. So, in order to pay those foreign suppliers, the importer must convert rupees into US dollar, and it must be paid in the US dollar in the first place. So, the amount you have been given as 1 lakh to buy a chain is completely going outside India in the form of US dollar. So, if this process happens, Indian rupees get weakened. So many of you have been aware what is and how does an Indian rupee weakens. But if to mention it again, I am going to explain it in a very simple manner. So India, if India is going to buy something from other country, For example, let it fix a normal currency as USD. So, if India is being importing from other country, it must have to be paid in the US dollar. And if the US dollar must be acquired, India must sell its own rupees and it must convert the rupees into US dollar. In the first place, if this happens, the demand for US dollar has been increased. Next, the rise in rupees in the first place. The supply of rupees will be getting raised. As a result, the more supply, the demand for dollar also increases. As an ultimate result, the rupee keep on depreciating in its value. There are other points to be discussed by Narendra Modi in his public gathering, such as postponing foreign travel. This also need more forex reserve to be converted in order to travel to the foreign countries. Second is all about reduced fuel and edible oil consumption. So it also been impacted in the West Asian conflict, such as supply of oil, which is crude oil or natural gases, both has been in a critical situation, and the demand for these also keep rising as well as the price do. And another one is all about reduce dependent on chemical fertilizer. This also been a major part in these advices. And the last one is all about avoid foreign goods. So you may think that is these advisory issues is a binding obligation to be followed, but it is just an economic appeal. So there is no any legal order which is to be enforced. But recently this has been proven wrong because the customs duty has been imposed on import of gold by 10%, which has been doubled from 5 to 10% now. And agriculture and infrastructure development cess also increased from 1% to 5% in total, which is 15% plus adding GST of 18.45% in total, which is higher than 9.18% from before. So, this must be taken into consideration. And the second point is that the fuel price, such as petrol, diesel, also has been increased by 3 rupees and export windfall tax also been added by the central government in a recent days. So this factor implies that government of India is uh, making it a legal order in the first place. Then the market reaction has been so volatile in nature is that the major Titan stock has been fallen by 5% and Kalyan Jewelers stock has been fallen by 8%. So what is the reason for is this is that many person has been panic selling in the first place, in which please stop doing those panic selling, because it is a kind advice is that whether jewelers or ETF or gold sovereign bonds, it is just in a temporary correction in nature. So in order to wait, just please don't panic sell in nature. And second one is that many of the investors think that it is an opportunity. We must have to buy more and more in quantity. But Please don't rush. It is my opinion because import duty has been imposed in India, which is 18.45%. So structurally, the gold is in a expensive in India right now. So just consider, because it is overvalued and expensive in nature. So just think before you invest a single penny into this market. So that's all. Today video is over, guys. So if you like this video, just subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon in the right corner. So thank you, guys.